everyone, welcome back to my channel. So it's time for my monthly roundup of new releases. I didn't do one of these videos in January, so I'm taking into account January, February here. A summary of all the new perfumes I've managed to get my hands on over the past few weeks. This is a time of year when lots of new perfumes get released for like spring, summer, Mother's Day. So I've got quite a few to take you through from some of the big designer brands. If you are new here, then hello and welcome. I am all about perfume. I have hundreds of videos like this, not just on new releases, but whole ranges, perfumers, perfume notes. So do check out my other content. And if you're a regular viewer, do make sure you're subscribed and give the video a thumbs up. That really helps me. And as always, I'll put the links in the description box to where you can get all the perfumes I talk about, where they're available all around the world. Now guys, before we get into today's video, I want to say a massive thank you to today's video sponsor, Omnisend, who I'm super excited to have collaborated with. Omnisend is a company that I've been using for a few years now on my website for my email marketing. Basically, when I started my business, my fragrance business, I had no idea about anything to do with IT, and obviously one of the first hurdles was setting up a website and doing things like collecting emails so I could send emails out to you guys with updates. And that's where I discovered Omnisend, and I've been using it ever since. It integrates with my Shopify store. It's used by over 125,000 businesses already, and it's been really intuitive for me to use as someone who had never done anything like this before. So for example, you can see here all the different templates they have for things like pop-ups. So when you go on my website, you'll get a pop-up asking if you want to sign up to my newsletter, and you can get 10% off your first order. That's something I've created with Omnisend, and I can customize it and add whatever text and images I want. All the templates and everything are really good quality, and it's just really intuitive. And then for things like newsletters as well, you can see all the different options that they have, and it's just really intuitive to add and move blocks around. I definitely encourage you to try Omnisend. I do have a discount code that you can use that will be on the screen. There's also a QR code you can use to go straight to Omnisend, and all the details will be in the description box as well. So I think it's really good when you're a newbie like me to use something that you know professionals use, but it also works really well for newbies like me, not just for professionals. So thanks so much for Omnisend for helping me over the years and collaborating with me on this video to share my story. Cool, so where shall I start? So we have a new one from Yves Saint Laurent in their Black Opium range. Black Opium has been around for such a long time, of course, and usually their flankers are just like the original, which is like jasmine, orange blossom with some coffee vanilla, and really strong with like an added tweak. This one is quite different. This one has like a lot of sweet marshmallow in. It's definitely jumping on the gourmand vanilla trend that's going on at the moment. And I did do a video comparing and ranking it with the rest of the range. It does still have the DNA of the original, but it settles on my skin really quite sweet and marshmallowy. So I do think this will be like popular on trend. I love the glitter bottle. It's so cute. And it does have pretty good performance as well, like the original. I find in general the YSL perfumes tend to have good performance. So this, I think, will probably be a popular release. We also have a new one from Lancome in their Idole range. This is called Idole Power. Again, I did a ranking video on all their Idole perfumes. There's quite a few different flankers. The Lancome Idole or Idole range is all about rose, so they're all different takes on rose perfumes. This one, the name is definitely appropriate, Power. I really found this heavy, intense, strong rose. There's a bit of a sort of patchouli in here as well, which is really exaggerating that rose. I found it almost a bit overwhelming, like it's so strong. So if you do love your heavy roses, like your more Middle Eastern roses, I think you'll like this. Again, I find Lancome perfumes perform really well, and all the Idole perfumes, except for the Eau de Toilette, perform really well. This is definitely the heaviest and strongest in my view of the range. It doesn't have the freshness or the pear of the original, but it's a good, strong, long-lasting, intense rose. So next up, we have a new one in the Valentino Donna Born in Rome range, a aroma called Extra Dose. The original is jasmine with some fruity notes, then there's loads of different flankers. This new one, Extra Dose, basically just gives loads of vanilla. It's really quite sweet, a bit like the pink one that they released limited edition last year. This one, like, lots of vanilla. It still has the DNA of the original, but the fruity note at the top is less noticeable. Instead, it kind of goes straight into an intense vanilla. Again, everyone is doing vanilla perfumes. It's very much the on-trend scent at the moment, it seems. I do love the hot pink coloured glass bottle. And yeah, if you're loving your vanilla perfumes, this is another one of a similar vein, which is like a reasonably good performing vanilla perfume. Next up, we have a new one from Viktor & Rolf in their Flowerbomb range called Flowerbomb Extreme. This one I was pleasantly surprised with. It was really not what I expected. It's very different to original Flowerbomb, which is a really intense floral patchouli. This one again has a lot of vanilla. It's very sweet, but it actually really reminded me of La Petite Robe Noire from Guerlain. It's got a sort of berry red fruit vibe to it, but in a very deep, sweet, syrupy way. There is some of the original Flowerbomb DNA in here that I definitely do get, but it settles quite sweet, vanilla-y, creamy, quite addictive smelling, and quite unusual, particularly for a super mainstream perfume like Viktor & Rolf. So I found this like probably the most unique release of the month, the most different and interesting. And I would probably wear this. I like this, and I like the millennial pink bottle. Being a millennial, I always love millennial pink. So yeah, I was quite impressed with this one. It didn't have quite the longevity of original Flowerbomb, but still performed well. Next up, we have a limited edition version of Daisy from Marc Jacobs called Daisy Glow. Every year we get these limited editions, and this one keeps some of the DNA of original Daisy. Original Daisy is a violet perfume. It doesn't really have a daisy note in. I'm not even sure daisies have a smell, but to me this really reminds me of original Daisy. It just has a slightly like a hint of something deeper in the base. It describes it as having vanilla in. I don't really get too much vanilla. The main note for me is definitely that violet, floral violet. It's supposed to also have strawberry in as well, that I don't really get any fruitiness. The strawberry one really is the Daisy Love and the intense version, but it's pretty. If you like original Daisy, you'll like this. If you like violet perfumes that usually tend to be purple, you'll like this. And it is an eau de toilette. The Daisy perfumes are known for being very, very light, simple, pretty perfumes, and it definitely fits into that category. And I do like the fluorescent yellow bottle. It is really eye-catching for sure. Next, we have a new release from Narciso Rodriguez. It's For Her Intense. Now, if you're a regular here, you'll know that I really love original Narciso Rodriguez For Her, that was created by Francis Kurkdjian like 20 years ago. And none of the flankers they've released of this have ever beaten the original for me. And this one also doesn't beat the original for me. It's pretty, it's light, it's got some of the musky quality of the original, but it's just a little bit more fleeting and pretty and very inoffensive, quite easy, like good for gifting, good for a safe blind buy if you just want something easy, simple, pretty. But it doesn't have that unique, clean quality of the original that I just love. I do like the bottle in this like ruby red. I think that's really cool. But this one just, it didn't wow me, it didn't excite me, and my favorite's still original For Her. And then we have two new ones from Sabrina Carpenter that have just started to be sold here in the UK. I think they've been out in America already. The Sweet Tooth Espresso. This one I didn't really get coffee from. It to me smelled more like a green, woody, slightly gone off smell. I really didn't like this. And then the Cherry Baby one gave me a bit of cherry, but it faded very, very quickly. I did do a comparison of all four of her perfumes in another video. Personally, I found these to be like not very good, didn't last, didn't really like the smells either. They are very cheap, like around £20–30, but I think potentially these have just been rushed out because obviously Sabrina Carpenter's kind of gone viral, everyone's talking about her, so they needed to release perfumes. But yeah, neither of these are Soki approved, unfortunately. So that is it for the new releases I've managed to get my hands on so far this year. I know there's loads of others coming up which I'll try and get and review for you over the coming weeks and months, and I do have more detailed reviews of them all as well if you want to check that out, reviews that have me comparing them to their flankers as well. All the links will be down below to where you can get them all where they're available around the world. But that's it, guys. So thanks so much for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.